Hi guys, Tyler from Duelcastermage.com here. I'm returning to Duel Commander this week after I dipped my toes into Brawl in the last video. I think I might alternate between Duel Commander and Brawl every other week, but if you have a preference for one or the other, just take a quick second to vote in the poll that's popping up on the upper right of your screen. Before I get into the match, I also wanted to announce a Duel Commander double elimination tournament that I'm organizing through challenge.com with matches to be played on X-Mage. I put the sign up link in the video description, and you have until Wednesday, May 16th, 2018 to register and reserve your spot, so get on it quick. There are more details if you click the link below, and if you need help, just PM me. Okay, so this week I'm running a new brew captained by Traxos, Scourge of Kroog. It's kind of like an affinity style beatdown deck that gets to run a ton of cool lands and is really fun to play. My opponent is on Kess, Dissident Mage, a common fixture of the metagame at this point. Come along as my mono brown jank pile goes toe to toe with actual colored spells. It's an uphill battle for sure. Alright, I'm on the draw here, and I see a okay hand. I got a couple lands. Signal Pest is at least able to be Skull Clamped. He leads off with the Underground Sea. I draw Zalfrin Void, Sky Sovereign to the bottom, and then play Skull Clamp. I actually play this in turn 1 instead of Signal Pest because the Signal Pest isn't going to do anything. It's just going to attack for 0, and I want to get this under counter spells because Skull Clamp's really good against him. He plays Nightscape Familiar, which is going to make all his blue and red spells cheaper to cast. Passes back to me and draw Walking Ballista, but I decided to play Fell Warstone here because I can go Fell Warstone into Signal Pest, and hopefully next turn I can play a Walking Ballista and take out that Nightscape Familiar. Anyway, Signal Pest here, if you don't know what it does, it's just an 0-1 with Battle Cry, and it's kind of like flying effectively. My opponent just raw dogs this Kess out in turn 3, so pretty aggressive, passes back, but again, he's doesn't need to be too scared he's playing against a colorless deck. I play Lotus Petal first into Traxos because I want to ambush when he attacks with Nightscape Familiar. I want to ambush him with the Scale of Chisgoria. Really weird card. Probably not even worth playing in Mirrodin block draft, but kind of a cool piece of tech here I got. But he has to ruin my day here with this Abrade. So he's going to take out Traxos. I was going to be able to eat his Nightscape Familiar. I still am able to block the Familiar and then pump the toughness of the Pest, though, as some sort of consolation. Now I go pump up the toughness of the Pest, equip Skull Clamp, try to plink him for 1. I want to basically get rid of this Signal Pest to draw 2 cards, but he has a Deceiver Exarch to come in, flashes in, taps my Signal Pest, so I don't get that little extra plink of damage. I play Walking Ballista post-combat and take out his Nightscape Familiar. It looks like he's choking on lands a little bit. He draws his 4th land, but then has Fire and Ice to take out my Walking Ballista and plink me for 1, so I shoot him in response. And he attacks for 4, so I'm drawing a lot of lands here, but I have Dust Bowl, which should be pretty good. I replay Traxos and clamp him up with the Lotus Petal because I want to make sure that the clamp is on there. He attacks for 4, takes me down to 7, then abrades my commander, which I was not too upset about, but then he has Stifle to counter the Skull Clamp draw, so that's pretty brutal. I'm not going to draw 2 extra cards. I actually chose not to put Traxos in the command zone in order to do that. I play Awakened Amalgam, which is kind of nice. This is a newish card from Rivals of Ixalan, and since this colorless deck runs basically every single deck is non-basic, it can get pretty huge. And I have this Triangle of War, which is a really weird old card from Visions. It's basically a prey upon, but hey, what are you going to do when you're only colorless? So I use it to have the Amalgam fight Kess, and he gets us up to 5 mana, plays Capture of Jingzhu, but it's a pretty weak Time Walk effect here. He doesn't have a good attack, and he doesn't have Kess in play to flash it back. So then on his second free turn, he has Sweltering Suns, just cycles, says go. I keep drawing lands, but I have this Ghostfire Blade here. This is a nice equipment in a colorless deck. It's gonna pump my Amalgam +2/+2 up into an 8 power. I also have Skull Clamp. Gonna be a 9 power and swing at him. He takes it all, goes to 8. And now I have a bunch of nothing else to really do, so I use Dust Bowl to start dusting out his lands. He keeps drawing lands, so he's kind of getting around that for now. But he has Liliana of the Veil, which unfortunately going to eat my only creature. But as a consolation, I do have it Skull Clamp equipped to it, so I'm going to be able to draw 2 cards, and get 2 more lands. Okay, at least he has no real pressure, right? I keep drawing a ton of lands. I use this Tech Edge that I get right away and go ham on the land destruction here, using Dust Bowl to take out the other one. And I still have, since I've drawn so many lands, I have mana left over to animate Inkmoth Nexus and take out Liliana, which is really nice. So he's kind of back to the Stone Age as far as lands go. Keeps drawing them. He's got some basics now, so I'm not going to be able to take out those basics. I keep drawing lands. I have one more non-basic to take out with Dust Bowl, and my only real threat right now is this Inkmoth Nexus. So I animate the Inkmoth Nexus, and I have a bit of mana left over this turn, so I can equip both Skull Clamp and Ghostfire Blade, and whack him for 4 poison in the air. Pass back. Keeps drawing lands, but I assume he has a few expensive spells in his hand he can't play. Yeah, this Sulfur Falls is a nice target for Dust Bowl, so I just take that out right away, and then he floats mana to scare me off, but I'm not put off by that. I attack with the Inkmoth Nexus again after I equip Ghostfire Blade. So this is going to put him down, put him to 4 poison counters. He attacks me down to 3, but if he has nothing else, I actually win the game here because I can go animate the Nexus, equip at least 1 equipment, and he does. He does not have any interaction, so I win game 1. On to game 2. All right, I'm on the draw again, and this hand is has a high variance hand, potential to be explosive here. Potential to have a turn 2 Traxos, because I can go Signal Pest, Artifact Land, Signal Pest, Paradise Mantle, Mox Opal, equip Paradise Mantle on Signal Pest for the affinity type opener. He has a Baleful Strix, which is a really nice defensive measure on his part. So that's, even if I get my turn 2 Traxos, he's going to be able to just take it down with Death Touch. Draw Mirror Enforcer to continue the affinity style train, but I think I'm like 1, maybe. Yeah, I play the Accorder Shield here to untap Traxos, and I'm actually just a single mana short of putting Mirror Enforcer onto the field for free, which is a shame. But he has, unfortunately, has the Dreadbore to take out Traxos right away, my turn 2 Traxos, so I'm kind of losing steam here a bit. Gain a life off the Inventor's Fair. Then now I can play Mirror Enforcer and hopefully do something with this. Just a 4/4 for 2 mana in this case. This Lotus Petal isn't doing much. Okay, he plays Liliana and targets me, so I sack the Signal Pest. I draw Skull Clamp, which is a nice draw. So I played the Skull Clamp, equipped to the Mirror Enforcer, and he's kind of priced into blocking here if he wants to save Liliana. Draw 2 cards, and here's where I make a really boneheaded punt. I play this Urza's Bauble, which is fine that I drew off the Skull Clamp. 0 mana artifact. But I really should just dump my hand here. I play Triangle of War. Again, fine. It gets Mental Misstepped. So nothing I can really do about that. But then I hold onto this Lotus Petal for some stupid reason and sack the Bauble. I should have played the Lotus Petal and then sack the Bauble on his turn, so I drew a card at the beginning of my upkeep. So now he's able to Duress plus Liliana to take out my whole hand, and I don't have enough mana to activate this Gargoyle Castle, which would have kept the Liliana in check. So this Gargoyle Castle, if you're not familiar, lets you pay 5, tap, sack it to make a 3/4 Gargoyle with flying. And because of my stupid play last turn, I wasn't able to get up to the required amount of mana. I'm 1 short, and this Jeweled Amulet I drew is not going to help me right away. So I have a really weak turn. He has a strong turn. He gets to play Kess and activate Liliana. This time, at least I don't have a card to discard to it. Put a counter on the Jeweled Amulet, and I draw Phyrexian Revoker. I could have made the Gargoyle here, but I decided to just cast Revoker, because if I made the Gargoyle, the Revoker would have just died to Liliana's discard. Would have lost it. And this way I can put the Quarter Shield on it and Skull Clamp. So All else being equal, I should be able to draw 2 cards, but he has Jace the Mind Sculptor, one of the best planeswalker, if not the best planeswalker of all time. So things are looking really bleak now, especially because of my misplay. If I had used the guard, if I had not made that punt a few turns back, I might have been able to attack into Kess at Liliana with an equipped 4/3 Flying Gargoyle, and if he blocked, I would have drawn 2 cards at least and had a shot, but as it stands, I just scooped it up. I'm going to play this time. I start with this Ruins of Oran Reef, which is kind of a nice one. Lets me get some free value if I have an extra spare mana when I'm doing an artifact creature, but he has Duress and he takes my Guardian Idol. Alright, I play Phyrexian Revoker on turn 2, naming Liliana. I do this before the Ravager just because I'd rather have Ravager have an extra counter from the Ruins of Oran Reef, for one, and have a body to put the modular counters on, too. But he has... I play the Ravager, but he has Lightning Bolt in response, so I'm only able to get 1 counter on the Revoker. Alright, he goes Demonic Tutor, and presumably gets this Flame Slash to take out my Revoker, unfortunately. I draw a Waste. Okay, so I'm actually set up pretty nice here. If he plays Kess right now, I can blow him out with Arena, but he does not, sadly. So I try to kind of bait out a counterspell with this Voltaic Key. I really don't care about it that much. In fact, this card's really quite a stinker in this deck, but he lets it resolve. I get an attack in, put him to 9. Then I play the Arena. Like I said, if he had just played Kess on his turn, I would have been able to just eat it with the Arena and potentially kept him from ever sticking Kess again. But instead, he plays smarter, plays Fact or Fiction at the end of my turn. And I give him a choice of Nicol Bolas and a land or 3 other lands. He takes the other 3 lands. At the end of his turn, I untap Traxos, and really running out of gas here. I play Ghostfire Blade, try to make Traxos lethal here, but of course he has this Darna Braid, which is really is an all-star against me this match. It really ruined my day. So I play this Mind Stone and pass, and I'm really running out of steam. He cycles a land at the end of my turn, and he's starting to get a lot of mana here. Nightscape Familiar comes back out, as well as Young Pyromancer. So I'm gonna be able to flood the board with cheap bodies pretty soon. He passes back to me. I get a Tangle Wire, which isn't very good right now when he has a young Pyromancer in play, but I decided to play it out. I did consider using Buried Rune to get back one of my artifact creatures like the Ravager or the Revoker, but I didn't think that was really a good use of mana. He stifles a Tangle Wire trigger on his upkeep and then gets an Elemental. He plays Kess and then gets the Duress out of his graveyard to take my last card on Winding Clock, so I'm just living at the top of my library right now. I at least have useless crap to tap with Tangle Wire, but speaking of useless crap, Jeweled Amulet's not going to get the job done, so I scoop. I hope you enjoyed that match, guys. Once again, just a quick reminder to sign up for the Duel Commander X-Mage tournament. If you're interested, just click the link in the video description for all the info. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. To know that people appreciate the content I work hard to create every week really helps me keep going with this project. You guys rock. Thanks for watching.